I always tell you guys, there's a couple that actually mess with us in America. Drake being one of them, Tory Lanez being one of them, a few others. There's a couple that pretend to mess with us, and there's others that just are playing out, not on our side. They just do anything. They don't help us, they don't promote us. DJ Akademiks has got one of the biggest platforms in hip hop at the moment. You know, every single day he gets millions of views, but nothing really positive on the UK. On the Joe Budden show, he said that all the rappers in the UK are good lyrically. We don't cover us in the stories positively. Talk about Stormzy at Glastonbury, talking about what Stormzy's done, Skepta, all these guys. And he comes out firing shots at Fredo, talk about he's live, blah blah blah. Love wins. People give him credit and stuff like that when he talks to this guy, but you know what? The UK needs to start standing up and be like, you know what I mean, start showing him some stuff back and throwing stick at him. A lot of people stuck up for him, and their rappers and the guys he reports on compared to Fredo, you know, they're they're a couple sandwiches short of a picnic. Like the UK and US scene at the moment, we're relatively new and we've still got way better lyrically rappers than they have over there. Fair enough, the US has been around a lot longer and has blossomed and grew into something a lot bigger and is huge at the moment, but we actually would be as big as if we was around from there. You know what I mean? Like literally in the last 10 years, the UK have really started to come out their show and doing positive things. And any guys that ain't supporting us, we need to just cut off, man, and stop sucking onto them, because who cares what DJ Akademiks thinks when we got Drake messing with us? Who cares what he thinks when we got Tory Lanez? It's actually the artist people that matters, like their opinions. Me talking and him talking and people that talk online, who cares what they actually say? I just wanted to make this video because a lot of people care about what he thinks and blah blah blah. He bigged us up back in the day on his little podcast on Complex with Joe Budden. He said that UK rappers are actually so good lyrically and gigs and blah blah. Obviously he fell out with gigs because some of the comments he made about him and stuff like that. And now he's on to fire shots at Fredo. Everything he says is negative. Like, just the guy is mainly negative. Don't really report anything positive anyway, so I wouldn't expect him to see it. Like a lot of the UK going at him, but everything he reports about the Americans is negative anyway. Like everyone reports negative news, fair enough, because when something bad happens, that's the stuff that people want to hear about. But I'm saying he doesn't ever put out many positive content anyway. So when this thing happened with Fredo, obviously he's gonna say something bad. Why do people care so much and say, he's coming at Fredo, he's coming at the UK? Back in the day, he gave us a shout out and said that we're good lyrically compared to the US because they're all mumble rappers. He said that over here we're actually got lyrical rappers, and then he just like shows disrespect to one of our biggest growing guys at the moment. The guy's got bipolar. I don't know how he actually truly feels about the UK. He spoke recently about Drake and Wiley as well. It's only when it collaborates between the US and stuff. We don't solely talk about Stormzy doing this, big things, blah blah blah. You don't talk about Fredo shutting down millions of views, our platforms, and how our platforms help artists grow. It'd be good to see him actually take in the UK scene and see what he thinks on a proper level, rather than just throwing out shots and putting stuff like this on Twitter.